Good evening, class. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we will start our class with a very interesting video. Okay. That video will be of Golgi apparatus and its function associated with lysosome. So once I share the screen beta, let me know that if you can hear the sound of the video clearly or not, and the screen is visible or not. Okay, I'm sharing it. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
let us have a look into the video. Very interesting animation kind of video. So I hope you will enjoy it. The animation is visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Golgi apparatus, also called Golgi complex or Golgi body, are membrane-bound organelle of eukaryotic cells. It is made up of a series of flattened, stacked pouches called cisternae. It is located in the cytoplasm next to the endoplasmic reticulum and near the cell nucleus. The Golgi apparatus is responsible for transporting, modifying, and packaging proteins and lipids into vesicles for delivery to targeted destinations.
हमने तुमको देखा तुमने हमको देखा
So class, I hope you are now aware of how Golgi apparatus looks in 3 dimensions. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more part of like the lesson I taught to you which you think if you see such kind of animations will be helpful for you? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
Any part of cell that I taught to you, if you feel that like if you can see such kind of animation videos, it will be helpful for you. I wish to show you the video for lysosome also. Kindly have a look. I am sharing the screen once again. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a look into it. So inside cell, such is the way lysosomes are present. So they are scattered everywhere, and they are responsible for very important functions of cell, that is called digestion. So without delay, we will move towards the rest of the portion that is left for us to discuss in cell. So who is going to tell me what we studied last time? Yesterday, what were the topic of discussion for us? Yes, Ayushi?
Ma'am, yesterday we studied about endomembrane system and organs which are included in it, and we also studied about microbodies.
Great. We studied also about mitochondria. Don't you
No,
think
ma'am, microbodies.
we studied about mitochondria also, no?
Ma'am, endomembrane system and
Ma'am, we need to
microbodies.
We completed already mitochondria. That's what I mean to say.
Okay, ma'am.
So you must not be aware, beta. We actually completed mitochondria. So anyone have any doubt regarding till mitochondria? These are the parts we finished. I talked about the tennis racket-like structures called this one. F1, F0 subunit, we call them oxysome also. If you can remember, we talked about such things.
Ma'am, your screen is little bit blur.
Sorry. Actually, when we share for video, no, we enable for share sound and optimization, no, for video clip. Now I think, wait. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So today we will start our discussion from plastids. Plastids are restricted to which type of cell? What are the cells which have plastids in them?
Plant cell.
Plant cells.
Plant cell.
Yes, plant cells. And apart from that, apart from plant cells, we don't have plastids actually, but plastid-like structures are maybe present in case of prokaryotes, that is called chromatophore. What we call them is, we call them chromatophore. Okay. Now, what is the discussion about plastid? See, the plastid which is much discussed and structure which is studied most is chloroplastid. But let me tell you, plastids can be of 3 types. So, like mitochondria, it is also a semi-autonomous organelle. Semi-autonomous organelle means they can make their own copies. So, like mitochondria, they have organelle genome and they have their genetic material DNA, which is very much similar to the prokaryotic DNA. They have also their ribosome, and also they have the enzyme so that they can replicate their own DNA. Okay. They can be very easily spotted in the microscope because of their very large size. Compared with other organelle, mitochondria and plastid is a bit larger in size. Now, plastids, as I told you, can be based on different their properties. We can classify them into different types. First is leucoplast. Leucoplast are plastids which doesn't have any pigments present in them. I guess I am audible and screen is clearly visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, leuco means what? You know that we talk about leucoplastid. Similarly, leukocyte, we call the white blood cell as leukocyte. So the meaning of leuko is white. So leucoplast means colorless plastids or white plastids. So what for they are required? They don't have color, but they are having very important role in storage. So the one which is storing carbohydrate is known as amyloplast. It is very much present in case of rice, wheat, potato, the plants which are very rich in source of carbohydrate. We know about that. Second is elaioplast. This type of leucoplast is responsible for storage of oils and fats. It is present in all oilseed crops. Here I mentioned about castor. Can you give me names of other crops which yield oil?
Sunflower.
Sunflower, there may be mustard. All of these, their cells are full of elaioplast. Last but not least is aleuroplast, which is present in responsible for storage of protein, and they are high in amount in case of lentils. What are lentils or pulses? They are the types of, what do we mean by lentils and pulses? Who is going to tell me?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Lentil. Chalo, I will write. It will be easy for you to understand. What do we mean by this word, lentil?
Ma'am, we have to simply do the translation of lentil or explain it.
No. What is translation of lentil is what?
Masoor.
Not only
Ma'am,
masoor.
masoor.
Any yellow dal is called lentil. Okay. And
Ma'am,
pulses means any kind of crops which are rich in protein. It includes soya bean, it includes chana, and all lentils are also included in it. Okay, so lentil doesn't mean only masoor beta. So they will be rich in this aleuroplast. The structure of leucoplast is quite simple. Simply, it will have all the types of leucoplast is having double membrane bound structure. But inside that double membrane, so much differentiation and speciality as per function is not present in case of leucoplast. Second type of plastid is called chromoplast. Actually, colorful plastids, in some books you may observe that colorful plastids can be classified into chloroplast and chromoplast. In some books, they classified it as three parts, that is chloro, chromo, and leuco. Why this is done? Because they basically wanted to classify it as colorful plastids and colorless plastids. So chromoplast and chloroplast both are colorful plastids. But what is the difference? Chromoplast have colors other than green. It can have green color, red color. It can have orange color. It can have purple color. Presence of all these colors are due to different pigments present in them. For example, yellow color is the coloring that is yellow is the pigment responsible for it is xanthophyll. Red is phycoerythrin. Carotenoids pigment, carotenes rather to say, is responsible for orange color. Then anthocyanin is responsible for purple color. So where do you think we can see? Here one example is given, orange color of carrot. इसके अलावा कहाँ हमें chromoplast दिखता होगा plants में? जो सबसे पहले हमें याद आए? Different.
Tomato.
Yes, beta. Can you?
Ma'am, in
Tomato, okay. Anything else?
red chili.
Flowers, don't you think?
Marigold.
Sunflower.
Now you are telling me names of plant, that too all yellow flowers. I don't know why. Obviously, tomatoes and red chilies are red in color once they ripe better. If you look at them when they are young, they are green in color. So which shows that the chloroplast can be converted into chromoplast too. So chloroplasts are specialized plastics in which the major pigment that is present is greenish colored chlorophyll. But remember one thing beta, अगर वो chloroplastic भी है, in that case also carotenoids, that is carotene and xanthophyll, will be there in those chloroplastic. It's not that they will have only chlorophyll. So the main function of chloroplast is the function on which whole universe is living, that is trapping solar energy and converting it into chemical energy. हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं दुनिया में. Before you pluck in a leaf or like destroying a plant, always remember there is one process available in the like universe which can convert energy into food. No other organism can do it other than the photosynthetic and chemosynthetic organisms. Do you think anyone can do this? You know, one of my students said to me, ma'am, my mom is also preparing food. How can you say plants are only preparing food? Are we capable of preparing food? What do you think?
No, ma'am.
We can process them, no? We cannot prepare. Okay, so there comes the important role of chloroplast. So obvious, yes, beta.
मैम ये जो क्रोमोप्लास्ट होते हैं वो किस में कलर देते हैं, मतलब फ्रूट्स में या फिर फ्लावर्स में?
Fruits में, flowers में, any colorful part of plant they give the color. कई बार देखना plants की leaf भी अलग color के होते हैं. That is provided by them only. Everywhere. Okay. So they can be of various shapes, especially chloroplastid in different types of green algae. They are of various shapes. They can be lens shape, oval, spherical, discoid, ribbon-like. Even in Spirogyra, you will see when I will teach you classification system that they can be of ribbon shape. And their numbers also varies. For example, in some cases it may be too many. In some cases it may not be that much. So how does the structure of chloroplast look? That I want to show to you. Okay. So this is the, yes, Vicky, you want to say something, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, beta, bolo.
Ma'am, which is the colorless plastid that stores starch?
Aleuron-plast.
Okay, ma'am.
I mentioned about it. So actually here chloroplast, this is the structure of a typical chloroplast. Yes, Vicky, you want to say anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so then stop raising your hand. I am getting confused. If you take a cross section of chloroplastid, you can get chalo, I will draw it properly. You can see that it's having a structure like this. Difficult to use these tools.
Ma'am, take this from the top.
It's not that easy, darling. Not at all easy. Anyways, understand that this is a double membrane bound structure inside which the inner membrane is folded to give you such kind of sac-like structures. These pouch-like structures are in singular known as thylakoid. What they are known as? Thylakoid. When you stack them one above another like this stack is known as granum in singular. In singular it is known as granum and in plural it is known as granum. Okay, there are various singular and plural we need to know. कुछ चीजें तो ऐसी है जो we make mistake but we should not. For example, bacterias कभी नहीं होता है. Bacteria itself is plural. Singular is bacterium. Similarly, virus sex नहीं होता है. Virus is plural. Virion is the singular. Anyways, so granum is the singular stack, and when many stacks are such stacks are there, that is known as grana. Many such stacks are like piled one above another inside the jelly-like substance. Inside this, there is a jelly-like substance present, which is responsible for having various photosynthetic enzymes and all. This is called stroma. And each of these granum structures are connected with each other with the help of stroma thread, or it is also known as stroma lamina. Okay, so this is how the important structure of the chloroplast is represented. Like mitochondria, the space between two membrane, in case of mitochondria, I told you yesterday, what is the space between two mitochondria told? It is called as two. Yes, Parth, can you repeat?
Perimitochondrial space.
Yes, so here it is known as periplastidial space. Okay, so thylakoid is the part where the light reaction of the photosynthesis takes place, and in stroma the dark reaction takes place. So this is how the photosynthesis occurs inside chloroplast. And in stroma itself you can find, yes beta,
मैम अगर प्लास्टिड और माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में एक कॉमन फीचर बोलना हो तो हम ऐसा लिख सकते हैं, दे आर बोथ डबल मेम्ब्रेन.
but there are too many which are double membrane. Why you need to talk about that? Even endoplasmic reticulum is double membrane bound. What is so special about these two?
तो मैम
You need to tell both of them have circular piece of DNA, both of them have 7-ps ribosome. These are their similarities, no beta? They are semi-autonomous. Sorry, not semi, they are completely autonomous. They can replicate themselves without help of anyone.
Ma'am,
Yes, beta?
ma'am, but the membrane which they need is only synthesized by reticulum. So can we tell them that they are completely?
I didn't get what you said, Ayush. Can you please explain it?
Ma'am, both the plastid and mitochondria requires the help of endoplasmic reticulum and nucleus to synthesize their outer membrane. Ma'am, then why they are completely autonomous?
Because they can make their own copy. See, anything that is to be done depends on the genetic material, which they can replicate by themselves. They can make their own DNA copies.
Okay, ma'am.
Vicky, you wanted to say something because I saw your hand is raised.
Yes, ma'am. May I speak the common difference between mitochondria and chloroplast?
If anything which I didn't already mention, you can say. Because I mentioned the different like common things. You want to
Okay,
add
ma'am.
up something other than that?
Ma'am, mitochondria and chloroplast are generate energy for the cell which are live.
Chloroplast never generates energy, beta. Sorry. It produces food. It cannot generate energy. The food will be going to mitochondria, then energy will be generated. Understood? Chloroplastid is not responsible for generation of energy. It's mitochondria who does that. Anything else, Vicky?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, following are the functions of chloroplastids, you can see here, these are the functions. They help in photosynthesis. And you know, photosynthesis is a process which is very much responsible for maintaining the balance of CO2 and O2 in the atmosphere. There was a hue and cry last year when there was fire in Amazon forest. You know this incident? There was a fire in Amazon forest and long stretch of forest was burned. Are you aware of this?
Yes,
Everyone
ma'am.
was mentioning के हमारे अर्थ का जो lungs है वो जल रहा है because such a big forest and it is creating so much releasing so much oxygen. Let me tell you the major contribution of photosynthesis and major release of oxygen on earth is done by floating algae present in the sea, not by any forest or anything. So you can understand that how these plants are responsible for maintaining the balance of CO2 and O2 around it. आप सबने छोटे उम्र में you must have seen one experiment, one jar, glass jar. If you put a small mice plant, they will survive even if you seal it. If you put a candle, it will go on. But without plant, if you put the candle or the mice and seal that, after some time, candle will be extinguished and the mice will die. Why? Simply because all we can do is to increase concentration of carbohydrate, this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Only plants can reduce it and convert it into O2. Okay. So it's a huge responsibility of plants. So before, like I said, destroying any of the smallest plant, remember this fact that आज जो इतनी ऑक्सीजन की कमी हो रही है and we are like very much worried कि ऑक्सीजन नहीं मिल रहा है. We are the people who destroyed source of oxygen. It is also responsible for conversion of chromoplast. As I told you कि आप टमाटर देखना when it is raw in their condition. For example, raw mangoes, they are green. As they ripe, their color changes. So chloroplast can be converted into chromoplast. Let me tell you very frankly, chloroplast can be converted into leucoplast also. In grade 10, I know that like last year you had a very bad patch and you must not have performed any experiments. Have you seen any experiments last year?
No,
yes,
ma'am.
Vicky? No.
No, ma'am.
So actually, excellent source is available. I must tell you, all of you. There is a website called O Labs. O Labs. Search it in the internet and go there and see at least the practicals of grade 11. It will be very helpful. Very good animation videos, original videos, and even simulation in which you yourself can virtually conduct the practicals. Those facilities are there and it's very nice one. In my school, I made sure that my grade 10, 11 and 12 students perform this via OLabs. So there one experiment is there in which if you cover part of a leaf of a plant by the help of a dark paper, that is black paper, and keep it there for some day, you can see the starch content present in that part is reducing. And if you put iodine, that part will be colorless and the green parts will be giving you color. Now, you must have noticed if you keep a plant without sunlight, slowly and steadily that plant actually turn pale in color. So that is conversion of chloroplasts into leucoplasts. But if it is before too late, you move that plant into sunlight, it will revive its chloroplast and it can turn again into green. But if it is kept for too long, the plant will die. It also helps in storage of fats and lipids, and it functions in transduction of energy. Why transduction? Directly it cannot produce energy. Indirectly it will give food which can in turn produce energy. Sum total of all types of plastids in a cell is called plastidome. It is called plastidome. So in nitrogen fixing organism, chloroplast is called nitroplast. And that's all from my side regarding chloroplast. If you want to ask something, any question from your side regarding chloroplastid?
Ma'am,
No, ma'am.
So we will look into the next cell organelle, that is known as ribosome. Okay. Ribosome is a cell organelle which was discovered first time observed by George Palade, and he reported about it, and it is an organelle without any membrane. Remember, I told you that day also, kindly note down and make a point of organelles: double membrane bound, single membrane bound, and membraneless. So what they are made up of? They are made up of ribonucleoproteins. So this terminology can be divided into three parts. One is ribo, second is nucleo, and third is protein. Actually, can you tell me the full form of RNA?
Ribonucleic acid.
Yes.
Better if we raise our hand and speak so that everyone can get chance to speak. Beta. Do not prompt directly. It's a humble request. So it's ribonucleic acid. So as these ribosomes are having RNA as well as protein, their names are ribosomes, and that's why they are made up of ribonucleic protein. So the RNA present in ribosomes are known as tRNA. RNAs of various length are present in ribosome, and these ribosomes romal RNA are also known as rRNA, that is ribosomal RNA. So ribosomal RNA and various other proteins are responsible for making up of these ribosomes. Now, if you look into ribosome cell, when they are not responsible for synthesis of protein, they exist into two subunits. One is small subunit and another is large subunit. These two subunits are, when it is not going for protein synthesis, they stay separate. Only when there is synthesis of protein, they come together, and once protein synthesis is done, they will again get separated. This is known as small subunit, and this is known as large subunit. So when we talk about 70S ribosome, so when we talk about 70S ribosome, it's simply that you can see here 70S is made up of 50S and 30S. as we cannot simply add them because they have overlapping areas in them. Their structures are overlapping in them. यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं कि this is small subunit, this is large subunit, and they fit in between. So they have common areas present in them. That's why 50 plus 30 will yield 70S, and similarly 60 plus 40 will yield 80S ribosome. Okay. They are actually 70S ribosomes are synthesized in cytoplasm because in case of prokaryotes, no such facilities of nucleus is available, and in this case it is produced by nucleolus. Inside nucleus there is a spherical densely colored object present, which is very dark in color, that is called nucleolus. The ratio of RNA and protein is 60-40 here, 50-50. Actually, in case of 70S ribosome, the content of RNA is more. Okay, so ribosome is having solely one function, that is synthesis of protein. Any doubts, anyone about ribosome? This is
No, ma'am.
ribosome. It is actually electron microscopic image of ribosome. Here you can see many small ribosomes are bound with the messenger RNA, and together they are actually like producing the polypeptide chain. So these are ribosomes. These darkly colored structures are ribosomes, and here these tail-like structures are polypeptides. And as you can see, there is one thread-like structure which is unifying all ribosomes together. That is called rRNA. Sorry, messenger RNA. Yes, Rutu.
मैम पॉलीपेप्टाइड में कौन से दो कंपाउंड्स होते हैं, कार्बोहाइड्रेट एंड प्रोटीन?
Polypeptide means it is only protein, beta. Amino acids are bound with each other to form polypeptide chain. Okay, I know this is very difficult for you people to hear such terminologies, और आपको बायोमोलिक्यूल्स अभी तक पढ़ाया नहीं गया है, but it's vice versa. अगर वो भी पहले पढ़ा दो तो भी आपको ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें सुनने को मिलेगी जो like आपने पहले नहीं सुना है. Yes, I can see two other people are raising hand. Yashvi, what is your doubt, beta?
Yes, ma'am. What is dimer in ribosomes?
Can you please repeat once again?
Ma'am, dimer, D-I-M-E-R.
Dimer, D-I-M-E-R.
Yes, ma'am.
Dimer in ribosome. You going to say this one?
Yes, ma'am.
So dimer, monomer and dimer. Dimer because it's a dimer because it is combination of two subunits. No? That's why we call it dimer. And in prokaryotes, what happens is such kind of ribosomes lie in a line and messenger RNA pass to them. So they are continuously in a line and produce proteins. So amino acid chains are produced like this. Don't worry, we will study about them in grade 12. तब तक हमें सेल का स्ट्रक्चर बहुत अच्छे से याद रखना है. At that time, if I ask you what is the ratio, if you don't tell, then I will get angry. Okay? Sure. Yes, Beta. Yes, Vicky.
Can you repeat?
What? What do you want me to repeat?
You have said before 2 minutes. After.
I didn't say anything. Yashvi asked me what is dimer. I said that okay, subunits are forming the dimer. So now we will talk about the cytoskeleton. So what do we mean by cytoskeleton? Cyto, the word cyto means it is present in the cell, and skeleton we know that it is the system which gives support to the cells, isn't it? So cytoskeleton is, in case of like plant cell, cytoskeleton is not majorly developed because they have cell wall, they have that rigid support. But in animal cell, there should be some kind of supporting material. So it is done by, it is made up of proteinaceous filaments and tubules. Okay, and this network is expanded from the cell membrane to the nucleus. सीधा ये स्टार्ट होता है सेल मेम्ब्रेन में और न्यूक्लियस तक पूरा ये ऐसा, ये यू कैन सी हियर नेटवर्क लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है. जैसे बिल्डिंग बनाते वक्त हम एक स्ट्रक्चर बनाते हैं, it is expanded like this. Now let us know what are the components of cytoskeleton. In case of cytoskeleton, they are made up of mainly two types of substance or three types of substance, sorry. These are microtubule. Actually, microtubules are made up of tubulin proteins. They are like 25 nanometer in diameter, and they are responsible for movement of chromosomes. You know that while we have cell division, the DNA content or chromosome content present in a cell need to be divided into two equal times. So half of the chromosome move to the one side, half of the chromosomes move to the other side. How they will move? Chromosomes do not have legs present in them. So these microtubules attach to them and then they get contracted. Once they get contracted, they will drag the chromosomes and separate them like this. They attach to them and drag them like this. So microtubules are made up of tubulin proteins, which are spherical proteins. These tubulin proteins are lying one after another like a pearl necklace, and finally gives rise to a thread-like structure called microtubule. Second is intermediate filament. They are 8 to 14 nanometer in diameter, so their diameters are not that much big like microtubule, and they are made up of various types of subunit. So they are comparatively rigid, less elastic like microtubule, and their presence is very much important to resist the external pressure. Consider करो हम जब छोटे बच्चों के गाल खींचते हैं, can you imagine how much pressure we are applying to the animal cells? So that kind of pressure which is protecting, like something which is protecting us from that kind of pressure, is the intermediate filaments basically. In their absence, it is very easy to rupture. Microfilaments are there. They are called micro because they are very small in diameter, and they are made up of actin filament, and they are responsible for motion, because actin is a filament responsible for motion in the cell. Okay, so these are all parts of cytoskeleton. Anyone, any doubt?
No, ma'am, no doubt.
So cytoskeleton not only maintain the structure of cell, it also helps in movement also. So now we will talk to cilia. Cilia is something which is exclusively present in eukaryotic cell. It's not at all present in prokaryotic cell. And if you talk about the flagella also, the flagella structure of prokaryotes and eukaryotes are totally different. Flagella in case of prokaryotes are made up of flagellin protein, and in case of eukaryotes it is made up of microtubules. So what is the difference between cilia and flagella? Flagella are very long filament, and they are mainly responsible for locomotion of the complete organism, whereas cilia are numerous and they are comparatively small structure. For example, you know, in our in females oviduct or the trachea, jahan pe windpipe or trachea, we have cells like this, and these cells are lined by cilia. So numerous hair-like structure. Kuch bhi aaye to these cilia will move like this. They will move like this, and due to their movement, the things get passed on. Whereas flagella are big enough in size and they are responsible for movement of the whole cell. Here, this is the basic structure of cilia or flagella that is taught. This arrangement is known as 9+2 arrangement. Why? You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 structures are there. These structures are made up of peripheral microtubule doublets. So what do we mean by this doublets? You know, microtubules are like this. How they are formed like this? Actin proteins actually line one after another to give you structure like this. Now, many such thread-like microtubule molecules are arranged like this across the length to give you a hollow cylindrical structure, which is known as the peripheral microtubule. Understood, everyone? Am I clear, beta? Like,
Yes, ma'am.
am
Yes,
I
ma'am.
my point? So, ऐसे microtubules, they are arranged in a circle to give you a hollow cylinder-like structure, which is peripheral microtubule. Now, two such structures are there. You can see this is one structure, and let me mark it with different color. It will be easy for you to understand. This is one other color. That's why they are known as peripheral microtubule doublets. So, how many doublets are there, beta? कितने doublets हैं?
2.
Total? How many peripheral microtubule doublets are there? Very easy question. Why it is taking so long?
Ma'am, may I?
Bolo Parth?
18, ma'am.
Yes, very good. It is 18. Khushi, I think, wants to say the same only. So, 18 are there. Why? Because peripheral microtubule 9. So, and in each microtubule there are 2. That's why total a peripheral microtubule have like system is 18 in number and we have 9 doublets. Now, at the center part there are another pair of microtubule. They are called central microtubule. Around them there is a sheath like this. Let me draw the sheath. Sheath is nothing but a membranous structure. The sheath is covering half of the structure. It's not covering the whole structure. It is covering half. And from each doublet, you can see here a specific type or specific like spoke-like structure is coming out. These spokes are known as radial spoke. कौन से? ये वाले जो एक doublet से निकलते हैं. Some of them like 1, 2, 3 and this side maybe 1, 2, 3. 6 of them are connected with this central sheath and 3 of them are not connected. And each of these doublets are connected with each other via inter-doublet bridge. This is the inter-doublet bridge. तो अल्टीमेटली क्या हो रहा है? हर एक डबलेट एक दूसरे से कनेक्टेड है और डबलेट सेंट्रल शीथ से कनेक्टेड है और in central microtubule central sheath se connected hai. So when any of their part is moving, whole part will move, isn't it? And they will be responsible for the movement of the whole system of flagella. Clear? It is the cross section of flagella. मतलब flagella देखने में तो ऐसा या cilia देखने में ऐसा hair like होगा. If I take a piece cross section मतलब इसमें से इतना पीस कट करूं और इसको ऐसे डिस्क शेप माइक्रोस्कोप के नीचे रख के देखूं, then I will be able to see this type of structure. Is this part clear to everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
लॉक किया जाए? Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
So this is a bit complicated part. I thought I will be requiring, you will be requiring more explanation. So this whole thing is mentioned here. So I'm not getting. Here are the differences of
Ma'am.
cilia and flagella. Yes, beta.
Ma'am, what is axoneme?
Axoneme. Axoneme means the spokes. It is actually, I think I missed that. You can see over here. Another thing also I need to say. Axoneme means the peripheral microtubules are called axonormal microtubule, or it includes. See why they use this terminology of axoneme. Let me take you there. I was telling and then I missed that. Actually, if you look into the, I told you in case of eukaryotes, the arrangement is 9+2. Why outside 9 and 2 inside? In prokaryotes, it is 9+0. So they have tubules arranged only like this. They don't have this central microtubule. That's why they have 9+0 arranged. And axoneme means this whole structure is called axoneme. This whole structure, the tubules, the spoke, the bridge, everything will include the axonemal structure.
Okay, ma'am.
So these are the difference between cilia and flagella. Look into them and then let me know if you have any doubt.
Ma'am,
Yes, beta.
ma'am, in our textbook, they have mentioned about nexin protein in that diagram. So can you give brief about it?
Which one?
Ma'am, in our textbook, they have mentioned about the nexin protein.
Nexine. What is the spelling?
Ma'am, Nexine.
I cannot hear you clearly. Repeat once again.
Nexin, nexin.
Nexin.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me write it somewhere so that you will be able to understand that. Nexine तो पोलेन में रहता है. I didn't understand. Like you are talking about nexine.
Ma'am, it was similar to, I think, nexin more than nexine.
No. Can you spell it? E is there at the end.
No, ma'am.
Okay, you mean to say nexine, N-I-N.
Yes, ma'am.
Last E is not there. Oh. See, nexine is proteinaceous like interdoublet linkage.
Okay, ma'am.
Actually, what happens is, let me tell you, let me go back to that diagram and talk, then it will be easy for you to understand. See, you can see here in this structure, in this specific structure, all parts are connected with each other, isn't it? Now, when there is movement of one part, it's but natural other parts will move. But there should be a interdoublet linkage which should actually prevent the movement in what I can say at random way. So that is done by nexine. Where nexine is present, let me draw and enlarge this, you will understand. Consider this is our doublet. You can see such structures like this, which are actually like connecting two doublets together. Isn't it? These are called like interdoublet bridge. Nexin is a thread-like protein which is actually ये माला की तरह सभी को पिरो के रखते हैं.
Okay, ma'am.
So that what happens is if they keep on moving, this movement should not dislocate them. ऐसा ना हो कि doublet में से उछल के बाहर आ जाए. So that is done. So this part is known as nexine. It is nexine. And there is another spelling that I wrote, that is nexine. It is present in Poland. That is nexine and sexine. That you will study in grade 12. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So anything else which is mentioned and I missed?
No, ma'am.
So we will move towards the difference of cilia flagella. Any doubt from there?
No, ma'am.
So now we will talk about the centrosomes and centrioles. So this part is like a comparatively new part to you because you still didn't study cell division. See, in like animal cell they are present, because in case of plant cell, as I told you that during cell division the chromosomes need to be dragged and separated into two codes. Consider अगर हमारे पास 10 किसी, if in any cell we have 10 chromosomes which will have 20 chromatids present in them. So 10 of the chromatids will go to north side of the cell, other will go to south side of the cell. The centrioles and centrosomes are responsible for creating this movement. How it is done? What happens is, consider this is the way microtubular structures are forming a thread-like structure which is attached to the chromosome. Now what happens is, the moment chromosome is tied down here, the moment this microtubular structure is dragging this chromosome towards this side, what happens is slowly and steadily, one by one, the microtubule will get dissociated. एक एक करके microtubule निकलता जाएगा and the length of this structure will reduce. पहले ये इतने लंबा था, consider करो. Then its height will be short, then again shorter, 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 shorter. So, or as it is going to get shorter, slowly and steadily the chromosomes will move. ठीक है, जैसे हम रस्सी खींचते हैं, कैसे खींचते हैं? समझो किसी रस्सी को पकड़ के तुम ऐसे खींच रहे हो, फिर हम क्या करते हैं? ऐसे खींचते हुए जाते हैं तो वो रस्सी पीछे लटकती हुई जाती है और हमारा उस ऑब्जेक्ट के साथ डिस्टेंस क्या होता जाता है? कम होता जाता है. Isn't it? Yes or no? पतंग तो सबने
Yes,
चलाया
ma'am.
है ना. आप ऐसे पतंग खींचते हो, लपेटते हो तो क्या होता है? जो पतंग का धागा है वो नीचे
कटती
स्टोर
है.
होता जाता है and distance from you and पतंग is decreasing. अब ये तो गुजरात में, अब मुझे समझाने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है क्योंकि सभी ने पतंग चलाया है. So that is how simply the centrioles are dragging, the tubules are making the spindle fiber, and they are as first there will be formation of aster and they will drag. So centrioles and centrosomes are lying perpendicular to each other. If you look into the structure of a centrosome, it's having structure like this. Centrosome is the organelle and centrioles are the structure which is responsible for dragging chromosomes. So this is also a double membrane bound structure. The cartwheel arrangement will produce two cylindrical structures which are also made up of microtubules arranged in a linear array. So this is called centriole. This is structure of centrole. and another centriole will stay perpendicular to it. And there will be obviously a jelly-like substance. This is known as centroplasm. Understood everyone the structure of centrosome?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what happens, beta? Yes, Devanshi, want to say something, beta? Okay, no, I missed. Actually, what happens, beta? At the time of cell division, what happens is this double membrane will get dissociated and centrioles remain open. And then what they do, they start spreading fibers like this. Okay, and these fibers are one centriole will move to one pole and another centriole will move to another pole. If this is a big cell, one centriole will move to one pole, other centriole will move to other pole, and this will also spread the aster. Slowly and steadily, these asters will join with each other and form a structure like this, which is known as spindle. And during this spindle, the chromosomes will lie like this. They will be lying like this. And when they are getting shortened, slowly and steadily the chromosomes will move for
Ma'am,
each poles. Yes, beta.
ma'am, can you please repeat this?
I said at the time of cell division, the outer covering of the this one, the centrosome is dissolved. So the two cylindrical structures, centrioles, will move towards the two poles of the cell, and then they start radiating fibers, which are called spindle fibers. And these fibers are responsible for spreading throughout the cell. They get attached to the chromosomes and they drag chromosome towards two different poles. Don't worry, I am just giving you idea over here. We will discuss about this in the chapter called cell division, and in cell division many very good animation videos are available. You will be able to understand that once you look into that. But I am just giving you rough idea. Is it clear, or which part you didn't understand? Let me know. I will explain it.
No, ma'am, it's clear.
Clear, no? चलो. कभी भी हमें कोई doubt नहीं रखनी है यार. This is some promise you need to make. So this is how the centrosomes and centrioles work. So today also we studied a lot. Who is going to tell me what we studied today? Because now only part of cell that is left for us is the structure of chromosomes and nucleus. Then our chapter will be over. So tomorrow I will finish the chapter cell, and you will get enough time to discuss the doubts. Okay, and once we discuss the doubts, on Monday we will play a quiz in the quizzes for cell chapter. So all of you probably sit with your good systems, that is if you have laptop, desktop, or like phone, even smartphones are good for quizzes, there is no problem. But you need to have a good internet connection. Have you ever played games with quizzes? Quiz game खेला है कभी किसी ने?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ,
Yes,
मजा आता है.
Yes, ma'am.
So all of you, that's why I thought कि हम एक बार मतलब it will be a fun way to revise concept. So कल हम ये chapter का बाकी का हिस्सा पढ़ लेंगे. If possible, I'll show you some good videos also, which will work as a revision material. And on Monday we will play a quizzes. Okay? Is it all right? So who will repeat for me what we studied today? What are the organelles we completed today? Ayushi is raising hand. Yes, Ayushi.
Ma'am, today we studied about chloroplast. Studied about plastids, ribosome, cytoskeleton, centrosome, and centrioles.
What about flagella and cilia? We missed, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these are the parts we studied. So all of you like go through the material and let me know. We can discuss the doubts. Okay. Bye class then. Very good evening. Bye.
Bye,
Good
ma'am.
Bye,
night
ma'am.
to all.